My name is Gretchen Rubin, and this is The Happiness Project. The resolution for this week is to take time for projects. If you're thinking about wanting to bring more creativity into your life and you're wanting to do some undertaking, it's very tempting to think, oh, I don't have time for that. It's gonna cost me too much. I can't fit it in. I barely have enough time to get through my day as it is. And so it can be very intimidating to think about starting some big new project that's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of energy. Usually you have to learn how to do new things, run errands, all these kinds of things. But the fact is, taking time for projects is something that really boosts happiness. One of the elements, a very important element of happiness, is something that I always call the atmosphere of growth. It's the idea that someplace in our life we're making something better, or we're creating something, or we're fixing something, or we're learning how to do something new, or we're helping somebody else. When you feel like you have that place in your life where there's growth, it really gives you energy that pervades the whole rest of your life. Even if you're at a time where you're pretty unhappy, having some element of growth can really help you get that little bit of element of happiness back in your life. So doing things like taking time to do a lot of holiday decorations, for example, it can seem like if you're feeling very overwhelmed and pressed for time, you can think, oh, I don't want to take the time to make gingerbread houses because it's going to just be so exhausting. And yet when you take the time to do something like that, it's really fun. Now, I took time for projects with one of my best friends. We decided to do this gigantic project, which literally took us more than 2 years to do, which involved ordering things from eBay, doing storyboards, corralling our children to go to Central Park at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a huge, elaborate project, which took forever, and it was incredibly, incredibly fun. And we made this book, Forward to Llewellyn's Edge, we wrote a story, a skeleton story inspired by J.M. Barrie, and took pictures of our children. And it was the most fun ever. It was a huge amount of work. It was exhausting. It was overwhelming. And yet I know that when I look back on my children's childhood, this is going to be one of the highlights because I'm going to remember it so vividly, and I had so much fun, and we worked together to do something very big. So it's really worth making that place in your life with your time and your energy to undertake something big, because that kind of creative output really is going to boost your happiness. So the resolution for this week is to take time for projects. And the thought for this week comes from Robert Louis Stevenson, who said, "An aim is the only fortune worth finding, and it is not to be found in foreign lands, but in the heart itself."